There seems to be kind of a disconnect between what people do in real life versus what they do in the online world. And Nev, we actually saw an episode, a couple instances of this in Catfish this season. Season 2, episode 8, it was Jesse and Brian. Not sure if anyone saw this episode, but Brian lives in Alabama and Jesse lives in Pennsylvania. They had talked on the phone, but never actually met in person. And when they decided to finally meet for the first time in person, Brian told Jesse to meet him at a truck stop off a highway in, I think, like North Carolina. So when I saw that episode, I had a big red flag flash in my mind. Why would she go by herself and drive and meet someone that she's never met? And why would she do this? And she did do it. So, Nev, how did you react when you found out that Jesse did this? And what advice do you have for the kids?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that episode. Jesse was a really skinny blonde, long blonde hair, in case you're trying to remember who that is. And Brian had dogs, and he was a Marine. Anyway, just so you have some context. So when I found out that Jesse and Brian had mutual friends on Facebook and had been talking for a few years, and that only about a year after they started talking, she had gone on this road trip and driven, I mean, not just like a couple miles, but like 500 or 600 miles from her home to go meet this guy sort of at a halfway point between where he lived and where she lived. It was alarming. And I know this, again, might seem obvious to you as smart young people, but a lot of people don't think about that. You meet someone online, you become friends with them, you share your personal life with them, and then it's like, okay, cool, let's hang out. And of course, it shocked me that she would not only agree to meet up with him by herself, but also to do it so far from her home and anybody that she knew, and she could call and if she needed help. And I was, surprised that she would do that, because she was, like you, a smart young person. And she recognized that it was sort of foolish, but it hadn't changed the fact that she really wanted to meet this guy, and this seemed like the only way to do it. So of course, my suggestion to her, and would be to anybody, if you do end up wanting to meet someone that you've only been in contact with online, is of course always to do it not only somewhere local, but take friends with you, do it during the day, somewhere public, where if something goes wrong or if you get nervous or uncomfortable, even if the person shows up and they are who they say they are, at least in the pictures, like, you don't know what their personality could be like. They could go crazy on you, like that guy Justin from an episode with Artis and Justin. Do you guys remember that? And you might feel uncomfortable, and you want to be in a place where you can turn to someone and say, like, hey, I need help, not at a gas station in the middle of the night on a highway. So again, maybe that's obvious, but just be smart and careful if you ever do meet someone from the internet.
We in the adult world and your friends are here for you. You are allowed to make bad mistakes online. You're allowed to overshare the first time, hopefully not in that way. But when you find yourself in trouble, please raise your hand, call a friend. It's never too late until it's too late. At some point during this young lady's drive, I would have hoped she said, "This is crazy. What am I doing?" So don't think that your parent is ever going to be angry, or if you don't have a safe place at home, come to the school, talk to your principal. You're never in too deep, and you can't handle some of these situations alone. Adults can't handle it alone. So raise your hand. We all love you. We want you to be safe online. We want you to enjoy the technology. But when you start going down this road, don't think you have to finish the journey.
Thank you. So there was another
wait, that was good. You should clap for that. I'm going to say one more thing really quickly. I have made so many mistakes in my life and screwed up, and I got kicked out of kindergarten, middle school, almost kicked out of high school, and kicked out of college. So I know what it means to make bad decisions and get in trouble. And the one thing that I had throughout my whole life, which was my saving grace, was incredibly supportive parents who encouraged me to always come to them with any issues or problems that I have. And I hope that you all have wonderful relationships with your parents, but I know that there's this tendency when you meet someone on the internet or even just get involved in something in your personal lives, to like keep it personal, because you should have your own personal lives, and you're teenagers and you've got things going on that you don't want your parents to know about. For whatever it's worth, take it or leave it. I strongly urge you, when you have a relationship on the internet, to, if nothing else, talk to your friends about it. Even if you might think it's a little weird or embarrassing or it seems strange and you're not sure what it's going to be, let some people know. Don't keep it private. And if you're comfortable talking to your parents and just letting them know, I promise you it's for the best. Because if it is who they say they are and you want to end up dating them or seeing them on a regular basis, you're going to want your parents to take you there and be involved and know about it. And if it's not, you're going to want your parents to know so they can give you good advice, because I've certainly learned that adults, if they are good for anything, it is advice from time to time. So consider including them in your online relationships.